Hello everybody, welcome back to us here at Turffontein today, this Sunday, being recorded Friday morning, the Sunday meeting that we're having a look at. And those of you on social media may have already got some of this information with regards to what we fancy at Waiter to Win, and of course on our WhatsApp group as well. There's the information for you. Well, there are 10 races on the stand side track today. Or Sunday. Let's make sure of that. 12 is the opener. Talk to Darren Burrows and Daryl me. They're with me, and Daryl being in good form, having got that 40 Rand jackpot the other day at Turffontein for almost 1,200 Rand return, 30 times your money. So that was a good start. And Darren, I'm hoping we can start the same here in the first. What do you like?
Well, Clyde, touching on the first race, let me just pull up the betting here quickly. That horse, give me another chance, 13-10 now. He cost 800,000 Rand as a yearling. His dam won a group race, I think on July Day or Gold Cup Day 1 year for Glenn Cotson. This horse could make a winning debut. I don't know anything about him, but just on pedigree alone and the jockey booking, I think he's the right horse.
Tell me about the second race where Oz and Kerr now goes to... was now with the Tony Peters stable. Do you give that a chance in the second, Darren?
Ozencare is one of my better bets on the card. Now, Tony Peter, we saw him take over a Stratospheric from the Justin Snaith stable, and he was a runaway winner by, I think, 7 or 8 lengths the other day. And I do believe Ozencare, on his Cape Town form, he will take a power of beating. The danger I made pour some sugar on me on that good improvement last time out, but I can't see them matching Ozencare.
Okay. So very confident about Ozencare. You, Daryl?
Yes, Clyde, like Darren touched on, he falls into the same category as Stratospheric. He was very disappointing in the Western Cape. We expected more from him, but he's making his debut for the new yard. And we saw Black Egret win from that form line, Clyde.
Yes.
I think Black Egret's actually a nice horse. So he's going to have to go out and pour some sugar on me, because she's going to be on her bicycle early. She gets that sex allowance. I think it's 2.5 kilograms. And she improved with the blinkers. She was well clear of the third place runner, Clyde, on that occasion. I think it was a good 7 lengths odd back to the third place runner. So I think she is the exacta proposition.
Okay. So let's take a look. We'll work out some bipots now, this being race number 2. The boys have got this going. So here's a look at Daryl Marie's bipot, where he's going in this leg 1 and 9 as discussed. Then 1, 3, 11, then 2, 5, 8, then 5 and 6, then 2 and 8, and then 3, 5, 9, 13. No bankers in this bipot. Okay, guys, back with us. Third race on the card now. This is a maiden class field. And note that 2 and 4 on Friday were taken out. So there are only 9 of them left in here. And Keep the Fort is top of the boards at the moment. Priced at 15-20 for Lucky Houdalakis. Saw them in the winners' enclosure during the course of the week. Unyielding, Mike de Kock also coming back to form. Number 3 on the card, 5-2. And Darren, they're bidding 7-1 bar those 2.
Yes, this horse Keep the Fort should win. You can take doubles, trebles, starting with this one. I think she'll take a power of beating. Love the step up in trip. 2 close-up seconds in her last 2 starts, and she's overdue now. Her dangers will be the cock runners, unyielding, and turn the beat around, but I don't think they'll beat her.
Okay, so you're very big on the favourite, Daryl. What's your take?
I thought she was a touch disappointing last time out. She did get into the race very late. Clyde, they have met in the past. Unyielding's only got 2 3/4 of a length to find. She was staying on that occasion, whereas Keep the Fort got the run of the race. Keegan DeMello now gets booked. I wouldn't be surprised to see her reverse the form with Keep the Fort. This filly, number 11, turned the beat around. Fair debut. It wasn't the strongest of lineups. Save the Queen has come out and won again. And 3 strands. 2 last time out, I think perhaps bridge too far at this stage of her career. I think in time to come she will get the trip, but I like the fact that she's come back in distance.
Your opinion on the favourite? Can you look at it to beat it in exotics of Darren?
I'm not overly excited about her current odds, Clyde. Maybe if she drifts out a bit, I think I might consider.
All right. So there's perhaps 2 views on the race. Let's go place accumulators, work out what we're doing here. Daryl's got his PA worked up, and he's gone all of 1, 3 and 11 by 2, 5, 8, by 5 and 6 in the next leg. And then he's going to bank a number 8 later on. followed by 3, 5, 9 and 13, 1, 5, 6 and 7, and then right at the back of this place accumulator is bankering number 5 in the beginning. Let's get on to the next race now. Race number 4 on the card. It's run over 1,000 metres at the turf. It's the Bohemia handicap. And let's take a look at what the players here. Talk to Darren Burrows about how they have priced up in this particular field. And Darren, I see they've got Cold Fact top of the boards at 28 to 10, 7 to 2 about number 8, Good Queen Bess. And number 5, Rose for Trippy's 9 to 2. I know you've been for Good Queen Bess a few times.
Yes, I have, Clyde. You know, the 1,000 meters is a bit on the sharp side, but the blinkers did sharpen her up last time out. I think the reason why they're dropping her in trip, because she over-raced with the blinkers last time out, even though she won. I think her ability pulled her through. She might just get run off her feet early and run on. I think Rose for Trippy is great value at 9 to 2. You can put a line through that last run where she blew the start and she just couldn't get into the race from there. 52.5 kilos, Keegan de Mello. I thought Rose for Trippy very hard to beat.
Okay, it's an interesting race with Rose for Trippy because she did blow the start, that's quite right. But I see that form line's flat. It hasn't worked out, so it's a bit of a worry for me because I like to look at those sort of things. But Darren's quite keen on Rose for Trippy in addition to Good Queen Bess. You, Daryl?
Yeah, 6 runners, all 6 unplaced.
Yeah.
That is a concern. But
Yes.
Clyde, this filly is an improving sort. Put a line through a later start. Run off her feet when she came out slowly. She'll bounce back, and she's going the right way. She just needs to show us that she's better than that latest effort and break on terms, more importantly. Good Queen Bess. Now, we heard Richard Free get off her last time out when he won, and he said he actually thought he was in trouble because she was traveling too hard in the early stages. So I think the dropping trip with those blinkers staying on could certainly be in her favour. And have a look where she's drawn, Clyde. It appears to be the right side on the track. I mean, we saw Admiralty Arch
Hard up against the
hard
outside.
up against the outside.
Yeah.
And then this was Lula Star, Clyde. She's been contesting division stronger and been running crackers. She's never disgraced herself. She's back in her handicap. She has gone up a lot in the rating, so it's not going to be an easy task. But this filly is very decent on her day.
Okay. Put it together. Let's put it in writing. There's a pick 6. Darren works out pick 6s, and Darren wants to go 5 and 8 in the first leg, by 4 and 5 in the second, by 2, 4, 8, by a lot of horses. So no bankers again in terms of this turffontein pick 6 anyway, and it's a 353 Rand spend for 10%. Okay, welcome back. Let's get on to race number 5. This is the Ruffian Stakes, and it's run over 1,000 metres. Reminder about our Twitter account at Weighted to Win, and on WhatsApp as well. Competitive field that lines up. The market on Friday, because we are doing this on Friday morning, is Mrs. Geatrix tops the boards at 5 to 2, number 3 on the card. 5 Virginia Beach is 7 to 2, second favourite. 4 to 1 about the 4 Ripple Effect at 4 to 1, and 9 to 2 about number 2 Miss Hannigan. Now, Darren, there are a few in here that I know the trainers think quite highly of. So, what do you make of it?
Well, I thought between 2 horses, Clyde, Ripple Effect, she obviously didn't travel to Cape Town too well, and she did go shin sore and had a couple of issues back in her own province. I think she could bounce back. They do rate her highly. Virginia Beach was beaten by a very smart youngster last time out in the Africa House. So I thought a good effort. I made it between 4 and 5 in no particular order.
Okay, it's interesting. Ash Fortune's made it quite known, I think, that the Cape Town stint didn't work for a lot of her horses. Tony Peter's quite bullish about this horse in terms of its ability, I believe. So it's an interesting race. But I see Mrs. Geatrix top of the boards. They've got that favourite.
No, I don't know where they found that from.
Yes, it is favourite.
She's won from one. How do you knock a filly that's unbeaten?
Yeah.
But I don't think she's the right one, Clyde.
So she won't start favourite then?
I don't believe so. Clyde, now Virginia Beach, I'm sure the connections were very disappointed that she got beat in her second start because they rate her very, very highly. But
Yes.
you never know what the Africa House, the horse that beat her, is going to turn out to be, Clyde. He could be a superstar because the way he won was eye-popping, to say the least. So She could be a special filly herself. I think she's going to be right there with those 2 runs under her belt. She's certainly got some experience on her side. But Clyde, have a look at this number 6. Call Me When You Need Me. Now, this is the filly that got to the course and they thought was unbeatable on debut.
Yes, I remember that.
Against the unbeatable Leaving Las Vegas.
Leaving Las Vegas,
okay?
yeah.
And they contested that race, and Stu Pettigrew made it known that he thought if Randall stayed to the outside on in that race instead of switching in, he would have gone very, very close to winning. But, Clyde, there was a race yesterday at Turffontein on Thursday that 2 horses ran from that form line. I think it was called Global Thunder.
Yes.
Trotted up by Lens.
Correct.
For Corey Lensley.
Correct.
And Missed in Scotland.
Correct.
Who trotted up for Paul Matthews.
And only 2 horses have run. Well,
and they were behind this filly. Now, also, this filly, when she got to the pens, she drifted off the start. She drifted off the board. She was playing up. She started sweating up. She's a big, strong filly. I think that inside barrier might suit her because I don't think she wants to be cramped. So I've got healthy respect for her. I think she's going to be the money spinner in the race.
Okay, it's going to be interesting. So Call Me When You Need Me, definitely a runner, as you heard from Daryl. But there are a few because Tony had, the winner in there, and he knows what he's got in this race. And Sean with Mrs. Geatrix had the winner up with. I just want to have a look at that form line I'm referring to, where Mrs. Geatrix ran. There's a form line in there that Sean can also compare and work what he's got up against one of Tony's horses here as well. All right, well, let's work out what we've got in this race. And the whole idea is to go 4 and 5 from Darren Burrows by 2, 4 and 8, by 1, 3, 7, 9, 10, 11, 13, by 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 10. it's a 294 rand jackpot. Race 6, the Stormbird. Let's get on to that. It's over 1,000 metres in over here and take a look at what the market looks like. The top of the board's Friday, 22 to 10, number 2, American Graffiti. 5 to 2, number 8, Zenovi. And then 5 to 1, bar those 2. Is it a 2-horse race, Darren?
Between numbers 2, 4 and 8, but I do like Zenovi quite a lot. Returning after a short break, money was down on debut, not disgraced behind Ripple Effect. He had number 4, Troppo Veloci, behind him, who came out to win by 2.5 lengths. And I think he'll take a lot of beating. So 8 to beat 4, and then American Graffiti won well on debut.
Okay, so those are the few that have to go into the play. Daryl?
Yes, Clyde, Darren touched on the fact that he has beaten Troppo Veloci, that's Zenovi, and he's better off at the weights. So it's hard to think that Troppo Veloci is able to reverse that form. But you never know. They are youngsters, Clyde. Yeah. American Graffiti, she was impressive on debut. The money came for her, especially when she moved down to the start because she looked outstanding. And she's by Silvano. But the form line doesn't really excite me. But you must be of the belief that she's got a lot more to offer. I'm just basing my decision on the fact that Zenovi doesn't carry a penalty because he's a maiden. So I think with that in his favour, and the fact that he was supported on debut gives me confidence that he shows good work back at home. So I'm going to say Zenovi ahead of the likes of American Graffiti. Okay,
we've got that from Daryl. You've heard Darren. You've got both opinions. Let's put up selections for the Stormbird. Here it looks. We're going Zenovi. That's the one the guys are going for. Zenovi's top of the boards at 5 to 2. Acacia Stakes. Let's look at this. It's over the 1,600 metres, and right now we've got Rain in Holland. Decent sort. We know all about her. 5 to 1 joint favourite with number 3 Gilded Butterfly. 6 to 1 about number 9 Emerald Princess. 8 to 1 about the 13 Queen of Shadows, and 10 to 1 about the 10 Bureau de Lejeune. Darren, to you, straight over to you. You take over.
Clyde, I like Rain in Holland. I think this is the perfect race for her. I think she's going to bounce back to best form. Not disgraced in the Met. 4 lengths behind Jet Dark. Before that, 4 lengths off Make It Snappy in the Paddock Stakes. That's good enough. And I think back in her province, we could see her back to winning ways with Richard Fourie in the saddle. I've got respect for Gilded Butterfly. She's improving with age. Miss Cool. good run in the Guineas, only beaten 2 3/4 lengths. Interesting runner for me is Clafuti with 52 kilos. She caught my eye last time out. I've played a bit wide in the exotics, but Rain in Holland, I'm hoping that she can win again.
Okay. And she does, I mean, she comes out of the Met, right? So it's her first run back. As a, when you look at it, you think, okay, perhaps, yes, she does like the course, she likes the mile. We know that she's good enough, etc. But I don't know where Sean's taking her for the big races to come in the season ahead here on the Highveld, the autumn season, and he's obviously got 1 or 2 Group 1s in his head that he wants to win.
Oh, Claude, I don't know what to say with this filly. Although her track and trip record reads well, I'm of the opinion that she's not a miler anymore. So she doesn't form part of my top 4 selections. But you know what? She's proven herself in the past, and she's certainly got the class. Gilded Butterfly, now he has an improving filly. We saw being pulled out of I think it was the Epitombi. So I was a bit wary when I saw her nominated last time out, but she was super impressive, Clyde. If you like her chances, have a look at Queen of Shadows. I mean, she's 1.5 kilos or 2 kilos better off. So you have to have respect for her. I think even the likes of number 5, Hollywood Bound, didn't get handy in her later start, Clyde. This filly, when she's handy, she's most effective. So I wouldn't be surprised to see her reverse the form with the 2 that I've just mentioned. And then last time out, Sean Terry made it very clear that Emerald Princess was using that race as a prep run for upcoming feature. And here's the feature.
Right.
It wasn't to say that she wasn't good enough to win last time out.
Sure.
She had a big weight to shoulder, and she is on the upgrade. So.
And Sister Light herself is quite decent. So.
Yes. Clafuti's not out of it, Clyde. I think this is Pink Tourmaline. I mean, on her day, she's very good. So
Open.
I think this is a lovely race.
All right. Interesting race it is. Lots of horses, lots of ability. So this is what the plan is from the gentleman. The deal is to do the following. A jackpot 2, which goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. By 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8. The last 2 legs, we're bankering the 5. And that is in the beginning. And bankering the 5 at the back as well. On the card National Star. Daryl's jackpot during the course of the week for that money, 48 Rand or thereabouts, returned 1,200 Rand the last time we took one. This is a Pinnacle Stakes, and in this event, top of the boards is number 5, Full Velocity, 22 to 10, 7 to 2 about 1, William Robertson, and 11 to 2 about number 7, Quantum Theory. Give you an early idea, being Friday. Don't know what it looks like now if you're watching it race time. Darren, go over to you. Just talk about it. I know in your play you got a few horses here.
I've got a few, but my first choice is William Robertson. Now, this horse, he's very versatile. He can win from 1,000 to almost 1,600. He's having his comeback run. He's run second in the Mercury sprint behind a horse like Captain's Ransom. He's beaten Master Archie in a sprint. Even with the 62 kilos, he could come back fresh and win. Dangers, Full Velocity, one of the most consistent fillies in training, always runs well. Quantum Theory making his comeback run. He's a highly regarded sort. I'm hoping that he runs well. But William Robertson, don't be surprised to see him win a sprint.
Yeah, it wouldn't be, and wouldn't be a surprise at all because the Summer Cup form lines worked out very well. I mean,
Yes.
there have been, 3 or 4 winners, I think, from that particular form line already.
Yeah, Clyde, I've always been of the opinion that this is a top class 7 furlong or 1,400 meter horse. But in saying that, he did actually earn his rating in the Mercury over 1,200.
Yeah.
So, racing fresh, I can actually see him going very close. Let's see how he moves down to the start. It's been well
been a while.
publicized what's happened with him in the past. Eden Rock, have a look when last he's been in the winner's enclosure. 841 days, but this horse is more than capable, Clyde. Fair comeback effort last time out. Full Velocity, probably the horse to beat because she is well weighted over here and track and trip suited. So plenty in her favor. Profit. This horse had a very busy campaign. I think he could have benefited from the time off. I'm just a little bit worried with regards to that stable. They're not exactly firing at this stage, but they're going to turn, Clyde. That's how the game goes in cycles.
Sure.
In Quantum Theory, he's a very exciting 3-year-old. Just a little bit of a negative is that he's drawn right down the inside. So I don't know. He needs some luck in running. And yes, I think it's competitive.
Yeah, it's interesting. Full Velocity's been off for a couple of months. That's the only thing that, if there's anything to be worried about, right? That was
Yeah.
November, I think, the last run. Was it?
Clyde, I wouldn't really be worried about that. I don't know. Do you have a comment from the
No.
syndicate?
No, I don't, unfortunately. But Sound of Warning and Big Burn came out from Vars Vicky and won, so the form is good. Interesting race. Will it be William? Can William Robertson step up and show how good he is over 1,200 metres or this 1160? Here's the suggested play from Darren. He thinks he can. He may be worth a place. Ninth race on the card, latest on this from a market perspective, top of the boards in the beginning. The 5 horse 2-1, 6 Silver Winter 6-1, and 13-2 about number 12 Permessa Avanti 7-1, and better about the others. I'm going to ask Daryl Marie first about a couple of things in this race, because I know that this is his play. He's used this in his most of his perms as a banker, and it's top of the boards at 2-1. I know you rate this horse.
Clyde, what has she done wrong? Her debut, okay, she came up, she probably ran above expectations. That's because she's got a touch of class on her side.
Yeah.
I think she was beaten by inexperience in her second start. She still, once again, produced an eye-catching finishing effort. Last time out, Clyde, the only thing you can put it down to, she was beaten by the draw. This filly, back up the turffontein straight. She's on the upgrade. And I think many bookmakers were lucky to dodge a bullet last time out, because they would have had to.
She made up the ground quite quickly. Eh?
Yeah, she's got a lovely turn of foot.
Yeah.
So she just needs some cover. I think that the fact that she's drawn one, she's going to be given a chance early, and she'll be able to reproduce that burst at the end. So I'm not too concerned that she picked up 4-pound penalty or 2 kg penalty, because she's going about things the right way. If I had to say a horse for the exactors, I'm expecting number 3, Alabama Anna, to improve. I think this filly is better on firmer ground. Back up the straight, her rating has come down a bit. So I'm going to say 5 from 3, but I'm excited to see in the beginning again.
Okay, well, Alabama Anna's any price. Well, I say any price. It's 18-1 or thereabouts. If that's the danger horse or exactor horse or trifecta horse. Darren, in the beginning, you're the same, right?
Clyde, I actually played a couple of horses in the pick 6 here. The only concern for me is the one draw over 1160 meters. If you look at the win strike rate, 7%, 10 winners from 138 runners. If she obviously, there's a chance that she jumps midfield and then angles across slightly, and then she's got a big chance. But I'm not prepared to back a horse from a one draw at Turffontein. I've fallen into a hole before doing it. So horses like Permessa Avanti, Keegan de Mello on her, 1160 meter form, second to Rocket's Red Glare. She's only got 52.5 to shoulder. Alabama Anna also catches my eye. And others to consider, Silver Winter. In the beginning, definitely the horse to beat. My concern is the one draw.
Okay, so you've got a couple of in there that may be worth considering. From Darren Burrows' side, he's worried about the draw. Daryl doesn't seem to be that concerned. And in the beginning, the one to beat. Okay, 10th and final handicap. It is over 1,400 meters, and well, there's some interesting value in here, and I know that because Daryl's got a banker in his jackpot, the second jackpot, the priced up. Well, let me go you through the market. Firstly, number 1, Kiku Kazal is priced up at 2-1. Number 6, Save the Queen, second choice on Friday, by the way, 7-2. 9-2, the 8 Defender of Rights. And then number 5, National Star, currently trading around 15-2, which is 7.5 to 1. Now, this is Daryl. I want to talk to you quickly because this is, I know you're, well, we all know it's your banker because you bank it in your jackpots.
7.5 to 1, Clive.
Yes. Why are you so surprised? I don't understand. What's the problem?
Well, she's getting 6 kilograms from Kisei Azul. Now, let me firstly just touch on Kisei Azul. It's never easy to go start to finish on the stand-side track, the Turffontein stand-side track. So in her later start, that was a fair effort. I respect her for that. She should get the run of the race because she's well drawn and she's an improving sort. But I think she's got a tough task giving a filly like National Star 6 kilograms, Clyde. This filly, let me firstly state that in her penultimate start, when she when she came back from a lengthy rest, I saw a different filly. She was striding out beautifully, and we were on the winner on that occasion.
Water,
and she
yes.
said, "This filly is the danger because she's returned a much better filly." And then last time out, she also moved lovely down to the start. So I think since that rest, she's turned the corner. And last time out, we saw that devastating turn of foot about 600 out. She put the field to bed. And the horse that she beat came out and won a very nice race. He's a well above average sort in Breeze Over. He's going to win his races when he learns how to run. So getting the 6 kilograms over a distance, I think is going to be ideal. I think at 7.5 to 1, I'm dumbstruck. I think they've got it all wrong, and we're going to get on in a big way.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, well, Breeze Over did come out and win his right. Spring Will Come. Darren was the third horse in that race that came and won, and Bronze Sword was the fourth horse in that race that came out to run second. So the National Star form line's working out very well. Do you like it, Darren?
A very confident selection. This is nice to get out of it. In the last National Star, she's run off the likes of Shoemaker, Grinkov. She took a while to win her maiden, but now that she's at the maidens, having a peak run, 54 kilos, receiving 6 kilos from the favourite, National Star worth a bet.
Okay, it's interesting. Kisu Azal, number 1, favourite 2 to 1. The 6 Save the Queen 7 to 2. Defender of Rights 9 to 2, and only the 4th choice National Star in the market. But both boys are going with National Star as the one to go with.